Hello, please like, share and subscribe. So we start out with Vadic smoking a cigarette and then telling her henchmen to take their ears. We then see Geordi unplugging data lore from the Titan's system. We then see crew members being chased down and killed by Vadic's changelings. Vadic is smoking some more and singing while she hears crew members getting killed, which is very creepy and very carny. We then see Picard and Beverly talking about how Vadic has complete control over the ship. We then see Vadic dancing and continuing to force the bridge crew to listen to their friends being slaughtered. Beverly and Picard are still discussing how to take back the ship, and Jack's eyes glow red and he goes into a crew member's body and gets that said crew member killed by a changeling. And then Jack says that it's no use because Vadic has taken over half the bloody ship. Vadic starts taunting the bridge crew and opens a ship-wide hail telling them to hand over Jack Crusher, and then Vadic drops her cigarette and steps on it, symbolizing that she is going to kill the crew. And then we cut to the strike and Riker and Troy explains that the changeling that came to their house acted just like Riker, and she tells him that she did sleep with the changeling, and we now know that beatsoids can somewhat read changelings, and even though Riker could be totally jealous that Dina slept with another man, but they find that they both hate Nepenthe. Then we cut to the Titan and Vadic just being a big child and being bored to death, saying that she is going to take the captain's chair, and Amanda Plummer is excellent as Vadic and she has given us some great moments this season. And Shaw talks to Seven and says that she should have blown the turbo lift, and this shows Survivor's guilt and that he is willing to sacrifice himself, but Seven isn't going to just kill him. It is a good conversation of moral judgment, and if you think about it, Seven before Voyager returned home would have killed anyone without a second thought, but now she is very moral, especially after her journey in Picard. We then see Vadic going on the intercom, tells Jack that he has caused all of this suffering and that he has 10 minutes to come to the bridge or she will execute one crew member at a time for every 10 minutes, as we see her broadcast this all over the ship with the crew truly afraid. And then we see how all of this is affecting Jack. He tells Beverly and Picard that he isn't a changeling and that he just feels that he's different, and he tells them that he can take control of people, and Sydney backs him up saying that he can do it. It's what helped him save her life. Then Jack takes control of Lieutenant Miro and Picard gives Jack his emergency codec, but Vadic catches him doing it and grabs him, and she knows whatever Jack's powers are and just gives this really weird conversation with Jack in Lieutenant Miro's body, and Jack snaps back into his own body and he tells Beverly and Picard that she knows. We then see Vadic put Lieutenant Miro and Ensign Nessima on the floor and does this whole execution scene with trying to get Miro to tell Jack to come to the bridge by asking for someone who loves him, and he says his son, who I think is also Nessima's son. And when he refuses to tell Jack to come to the bridge, she puts a phaser to Nessima's head, then kills Tveen, and she makes Seven tell everyone what she just did. And then Vadic tells Jack if he doesn't come to the bridge that she just going to keep killing people. We then cut to the strike and Riker and Troy discussing how when Thaddeus died that Dina used her betazoid powers to make Riker forget, and Troy responds with she wasn't trying to make him forget but to help him carry it because she was feeling everyone's grief. And something also makes me think that Dina is now pregnant with a changeling's baby, which would be a very sad twist, and a changeling comes in and then Worf is right behind it and cuts it to pieces, and then Troy and Riker come in for a hug with Worf, and then Worf starts to recite poetry, which is pretty funny considering that they were once dating, but now Dina is married to Riker, so he was a little jealous. Then we cut back to the Titan and it is discussed that they need to override Vadic's commands, and so Sydney says that they need AI to do it, so they go to Geordi so that they can reactivate data. When Geordi asks what gift did Jean Luke bring to Geordi's anniversary, and it was a Chateau Picard bottle of wine, and this is the test of if this is really Jean Luke, and of course it is Picard, tells Geordi that they need data, so they have to remove the partition that keeps data from being erased, and Jack goes to the bridge so that he can buy them time. We then see Data and Lore in their digital database. Weld and Lore starting to erase data. We then cut back to the strike, and Raffi tells Troy and Riker that it isn't Jean Luke Picard's body they wanted, but the part of his brain that was infected with Iramidex syndrome. An alarm is then triggered, and so they have to leave. We then cut to the bridge of the Titan and Vadic just really being impatient, and she almost kills someone else when Jack arrives on the bridge with what looks like a thermal detector from Star Wars but is some type of mobile force field. Well, he convinces Vadic that it is a bomb and that if she doesn't let the bridge crew go he'll kill himself. We then cut to the Legacy crew seeing Data being destroyed by Lore. We then cut back to the bridge, and Vadic lets the bridge crew go into the observation lounge, but Seven decides to stay, and she tells Shaw that she is accepting the consequences. Which harks back to what he said earlier. Jack asks Vadic to speak plainly about what she wants with him, but she just keeps speaking in riddles and Shakespeare essentially, and thus just confuses Jack even more by saying, "Don't you want to know what's behind that red door?" We see Vadic laughing, then we see Data still being destroyed by Lore, and Lore is taking his memories, and Data gives Spot to Lore, which it's a little weird that he refers to Spot as a boy, since we know from TNG that Spot is a girl because she gave birth to kittens, and that's what helped save the ship in that episode, so it's a little strange. We then see Data erased and everyone is just sad till Lore just starts getting freaked out, and Data comes back because he let Lore take his memories so that they could become one, and he explains this to Lore as Lore disintegrates and Data comes back to life, and he immediately catches on to he needs to help the crew take back the bridge. Data gets their systems back online, and Riker calls and Sydney gets him up to speed and clears him to dock when Data gives the speech, "Greetings USS Titan, this is you friendly positronic pissed off security system back online, uninvited guests and monologuing protoplasms. I am intuiting an immediate ship change that is absolutely funny and well within Data's character. Vadic is absolutely scared, and Data tells Jack that it's time. Raffi beats up some changelings, and then Jack puts up the mobile force field. Jack tells Picard to open the emergency evacuation hatch, and the bridge opens with Seven telling Vadic to get off her bridge, and Vadic saying everyone's new favorite Star Trek curse word fucking solids as she and her henchmen are blown into space, and Vadic is frozen to death as she hits the strike and breaks into a million pieces. Shaw and the bridge crew come out of the observation lounge, and Shaw tells Seven to take this one. Seven says, "Fire everything we've got, and are there like no phasers on this ship, like seriously?" But they do blow up the strike, and as Raffi and Worf are cleaning up the changeling mess, Riker Dina comes up, and Dina feels a darkness that almost makes her collapse. We then see a very nice conversation between Geordi and Data. We then see a briefing scene between all of our Legacy cast and them talking about old times till they get to the point about Jack, and Dina says that it's about time she meets their son, and her and Jack have a counselor session, and then the episode ends. So I'll see you all next week. Live long and prosper.